For all real estate needs, call him today for free consultation at 408-805-4653 or visit nagrajhomes.com. You're listening to Real Estate Roundup. Real Estate Roundup with Realtor Nagaraj Annaya every Sunday from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. PST on Bolly 92.3 FM.
Namaskar Bay Area, welcome to Real Estate Roundup, your window into the peaks and valleys of the state of Bay Area real estate. I'm Vijay Lakshmi, and opening this window to reveal and equip you with all you need to know before you plan on stepping in is none other than Nagaraj Annaya, your trusted Bay Area tech realtor and the founder of nagrajhomes.com. So if you are contemplating participating in real estate as a buyer, as a seller, as an investor, but possibly hesitating a little bit, or you'd like help in understanding the market, give us a call right now to talk to Nagraj. Studio lines are open on Bolly 92.3 FM. The number to call in 408-912-5038. That number 408-912-5038. And we are also simulcasting on YouTube, on Nagaraj Annaya's YouTube channel. So you can go into the live section, you'll catch us there. You have the option of putting your questions there in the comment section as well. So we look forward to your calling in with your questions, with those clarifications, with those observations, while we take stock of the real estate market with Nagaraj. Again, I leave you with that number, 408-912-5038, or live on YouTube, Nagaraj Annaya's YouTube channel. Happy Sunday, Nagaraj. Welcome.
Hello, Vijay Lakshmi. Hello, Bay Area. Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are enjoying a nice weather out there.
Yeah, it's hot and happening in the Bay Area. So what is the temperature of the real estate market?
Yesterday, one of my clients called me from Austin, right? He was telling he didn't step out from Austin houses like from last 4 months.
Whoa.
Because it's so hot, right? Weather is so hot.
Yeah.
Hope might be great, but you can't come out. Right?
Yeah.
He was telling me like your homes are so small in the Bay Area, but we have such a nice, pleasant weather to enjoy. You have a big home, but you can't come out from the home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? That's the
nothing like the Bay Area. We pay for the weather, right?
Yeah. So Jeremy Paul met last week, and he's expecting to increase the rate one more time this year, right? Like expecting the inflation is a little bit higher when he thought, right? Like he's expecting one more rate increase. So 8% is coming soon.
8% is coming soon. Oh my gosh.
So 8% is coming soon. So, but in the Bay Area, if you want to buy or sell a home, you can ask me, is it the right time to do it? Or when is the right time to do it?
When is the best time to buy a home in 2023
Before
now?
jumping into that question, let me give you one more nice article which explains why you need to buy a home, right? In Florida, near facing the sea, right? Like homeowner it's a kind of a 200 or 300 condos. Homeowner has given a notice for all the tenants to vacate. Reason is the homeowner wants to, or the owner of the company wants to increase the rents.
Oh, okay.
So as the tenants staying there from the last 20 years or 15 years now, right? Some of them are even at the age of 90 years. Now they need to find a new place to live at this age. But if they have bought a house for themselves, they can expect the monthly payments to be same, right? Or even the property taxes will be the same. So that is one of the reasons you need to be buying a house for yourself. It can be a big house or a small house, but find a house or a nest where you can stay yourself.
So it's critical that you buy a home for yourself, because this way, by renting, it's going nowhere, right? It's showing you have nothing to show for it.
You can go and check in 2017, the rent prices around in the Bay Area were 2,000.
Now,
the same places you're closely paying $3,500 to $4,000.
Yes, very easily.
But if you have bought a house 4 years, 5 years back, right?
Yeah.
If you're logged in for 7 years or a 20 years or 30 years rates, your
Yes.
30-year rates, your interest rates are fixed for you.
Very true.
And even
Mm-hmm.
the property prices, property taxes also, right? Is kind of an almost kind of a logged in for you. There will
Yeah.
be slight increase, but not so expected at the age of 90, where you are going and looking at the
Yeah. You
basis.
have to start all over and wonder where to now even start looking at that age when all you want to do is sit
Yeah,
back and relax, right?
yeah, that's
That,
the one of the
that's a
reasons.
sad state.
I
Yeah.
think you should look out for this kind of things instead of complaining or like feeling bad about like where you can't when to buy a house, right? Like
Yeah.
there are a lot of home buyers, they'll be keep waiting. There's a perfect time to buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing called a perfect time to buy a house. It's a time is when you are ready
Yeah.
and when your financials meet the expected home, like expectations of the home, right? Like for
Yeah.
example, you make something which expects you to buy only $1 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to go and find that kind of a home and settle down initially. The
Yes.
first home is not all which matches your criteria or needs.
Yes.
So you
Mm-hmm.
need to look based on your salary, what is the perfect thing to buy for you? Because you need to buy a house under a 1 million, you need a 5% down,
Yeah.
right? So instead of keep paying a rent, look for a home which meets your criteria.
Yeah.
Instead of buying a 3 bed, go and buy a 2 bed. I've seen some families like they're looking for a house from last 10 years or 15 years and they can't find it, but they kept paying the rent for last 10
Ah,
years.
right. Mm-hmm. Wow, that is an amazing lesson right there. So, folks, if you're just joining us, we're talking to Nagraj Anaya, the founder of nagrajhomes.com, and with critical lessons really on what to look for in a home and when to really step in there, not wait endlessly, not spend that money on rent, buy what you can and what is affordable for you at the moment, but do buy it, and you'll be, happy you did that in hindsight. So if you have questions surrounding buying a home, selling a home, or maybe getting your feet wet in investing, adding investment in real estate to your portfolio, give us a call right now. 408-912-5038 is the number, and we're also live on YouTube on Nagraj Anaya's YouTube channel. You can put that question there as well. But critical questions that you want to consider if you've been procrastinating, just wondering, watching the world go by and wondering if this is a good time. Well, no time like the present, and that's why it's called a present. So you got to get in there, and if you have doubts surrounding that, who better than to run that with Nagraj? He is the subject matter expert. He has his pulse on the market. So with so much happening though, Nagraj, there's so many things going on. The mortgage rates are going through the roof, like you said. The inventory still is much left to consider. But if a first time home buyer is considering this and his affordability is or her affordability is less, how do they tackle this situation?
It's a great question, Vijay Lakshmi. See, I was showing the one of the house to my client recently, and he was doing the calculation such that like, hey Nagaraj, like if I buy a 1.3 million and I'm going because of this higher interest rates, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to pay this much of an interest in the next 2 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right, he was trying to understand and he was trying to compare, staying instead of buying a house, I'll go and stay it in a house for the next 3 years, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a wrong calculation what you are doing in,
Mm.
right? You are not considering the property appreciation,
Yeah.
right? You are not bringing in the quality time what you spend in your own house,
Mm-hmm.
joy and happiness what your family gets when they say it's in a own house.
Yeah.
That can't be considered for the interest what you pay for it.
You can't substitute that.
You can't,
Yeah.
right? So you can't always do the math. Like, for example, I'm going to pay 300K of a interest, but I'm going to pay like 200K of a rental.
Mm-hmm.
There's an 100K difference. What should I do in this case?
Yeah.
Instead of that, you can put larger down payment. But do you have the larger down payment? Will you be going and waiting for it?
Mm.
right? So
Yeah.
once you keep waiting for it, when the interest rate starts dropping in, there's already with this higher interest rate in the Bay Area, you're seeing so many people are competing well.
Yes.
Each
Yeah.
houses are getting in a multiple offers.
Yeah. So despite the high rate, people are still thronging
Yeah.
to buy
There
homes.
was
So
one
what will
picture of,
happen once the interest rates
yeah,
fall? Then everybody will be jumping in.
yeah, there's already one. Let me give you one example, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
one of my client, he's in a single person, single earning. He's not married, right? He's a 28, 29-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So he called me up one day, Nagaraj, like I want to buy a house. Like I'm not still not married, but I want to buy a house for myself,
Mm.
right? We had a quite discussion and like ended up buying a duplex for himself, right?
Okay.
So he bought a duplex. In one house he's rented, right? Like basically one house can get him a $3,000 in Santa
Yes.
Clara, and in
Yeah.
another house, in the second house, he's staying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's staying with room partner, right? Like
Mm.
basically even that one bedroom
One
also is renting
unit is
out because he
being
needs just
subsidized.
one bedroom for himself, right?
Yeah.
He started building in himself where it's almost 60% or 50% pays for the rent. So another 50% is what he's paying for the mortgage right now.
Right. That's a smart move.
See, even the individuals, right? Lot of who's working right now is not married.
Mm.
They think like staying with like staying with like three or four people. That's where they're saving their rent, but they don't think about building the wealth for themselves like this also.
The equity
You're
build
right.
in that.
He did
Mm-hmm.
a smart move for himself. Houses had kind of shortcomings, like needed to fix and needed to fix the foundations and everything. The total cost gave him like 120K, but he
Yeah.
bought the house for 1.42 million. Even 120K upgrades is equivalent to 1.54 right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the but the single family or the duplex in Santa Clara are selling for 1.8.
Mm. Wow. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Instead of cribbing himself, he went and bought something where he is like rent out and he can stay still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Reason I was telling you a duplex example says the first time home buyers can think about even the duplexes for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct?
Yes.
And you're waiting for like if you're waiting for even to get married or like see when you get married, like there are two persons needs to be making a decision for
Mm.
when you're buying a house. But
Yeah.
when single person, you can go and buy for yourself what you want because
Yes.
that's not going to be your final home.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Correct?
Yeah.
In the next 2 3 years, even if he can pay off a 20-30% for himself, then if he can rent out two houses and he can move to other house also, right?
Yeah.
This pays itself, and he'll be getting another 2,000 positive, which
Mm-hmm.
he can pays for the other house also,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right?
Absolutely.
So that's
Okay.
the smart move you need to make for yourself. The
Yes.
first house can't be a perfect house for yourself, right? It can be like, for example, you don't have a much down payment for 1.5 million, right? You have just a 10%, like maybe a 120K, right?
Mm-hmm.
With a 10% down, you can still buy a condos or a townhouses,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
right?
get your foot in the door. Don't wait for that checklist and the wish list and all to materialize. Just get in, and then things will, evolve as you do. But get that, stake your claim on the first home and get started on the real estate journey is what you're saying. And
Yes.
there are options. Don't,
There are a lot
be
of
hung up
options, right?
about
Like, for
down
example,
payment, and there are options to. It's not set in stone, 20% or anything like that, right?
with a
So
10% down also, you can
yeah.
go buy the house. Even with a
Mm-hmm.
5% down, under $1 million, you can buy a house.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of a 3 bedroom, bring down your wish list to a 2 bedroom because your necessity is just a 2 bedroom now. Maybe in the next, because anyhow you're staying within a 2 bedroom rental, right? Like, why can't you go just buy with a 2 bedroom when you don't have the enough down payment?
Yeah, correct.
Because you're just throwing away 3,500 or $4,000
Exactly.
of a
Exactly.
rental, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just do the math for 2 years or 3 years, how much you're going to pay. Even if
Yes.
it is a 4,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
48,000 per an a year. So 2 years, it's a 96,000.
Wow. When you put it like that, it sounds astounding, right? The amount.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what, as a first time home buyers, right? When you don't have it, go buy a condos, go buy a townhouse, because especially with the higher interest rate, there's a lot of values for the condos and the townhouses because of the affordability factor, right?
Yeah.
It brings in a good affordability factor for yourself when
Yes.
you buy a house. So
Mm-hmm.
you can go buy for a townhouse or a condos. And the third
Yes.
option is go buy a duplex or a triplex where you
Mm-hmm.
can rent out two portions and where you can stay in there. There are the
Yes.
lenders who can do the financing for a duplex also.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Townhomes, condos, duplexes, consider those.
Yeah.
And
And one more
as
thing is, like, if you find any friends who want to buy together, you can buy
mm-hmm.
a duplex where you can both the friends can stay together, right? That is
Mm-hmm.
also one of the thing. There's a
Yeah.
lot of single persons are there, like who are staying with the friends, right? Three friends inclusive can go by triplex also.
Mm. Yeah.
Instead
Mm-hmm.
of complaining where my uh, where my earnings are less, and moving out to a Texas and Austin, and you can't come out of the house for a 4 months.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. You don't
You
want to
can
do
buy
that.
something where you can enjoy the weather.
Correct, correct. Be
You-
happy
no, you can
in the
have a
Bay Area.
bungalow, but you can't come out of the house.
Yeah, what's the point of that? Yeah.
Yeah, right. So it was like the conversation was so like coming out yesterday, right? Like you were saying, Nagaraj, I can't even come out for a four months,
Oh
but I
my
have in a
God.
bungalow here.
Wow.
What do you
Yeah.
do for that, right?
Yes, yes. Very well put. Very well put. So, folks, if you are driving along your merry way on this Sunday and these thoughts are resonating with you and you're wondering how to make that happen, well, I have the subject matter of real estate in the house. You can call us 408-912-5038. 408-912-5038 is the number to get in touch right now. Whatever's on your mind, real estate wise, Nagraj is more than happy to discuss that with you. He can really, find you everything you need. He is the expert in the area that you want to look at, brings a wealth of knowledge on the local communities, on the current market conditions, on the home buying and selling process, and basically wants you to go into this fully equipped, so that you know what you're doing and you're happy with making real estate a part of your dream. So give us a call, and again, we're live on YouTube as well as Nagraj Anayya's YouTube channel. You can also catch us there and put your comments in the comments section. But we'd love to hear
We
what
have
you are
one comment,
experiencing.
Vijay Lakshmi, like
Hmm?
it's a great question from one of the
Oh, there is. Okay.
yeah. He says like lender is allowing a 43% debt
Mm-hmm.
gross income, but mortgage is coming pretty high, right? Is it better to be around 25 to 30% gross mark? Right. So let me tell you what is DTI, right? Whenever you
Yeah.
do mortgage, right? Like there is like they calculate the DTI income, like for example, how much you make monthly,
Okay.
right? But like, let's assume like you make a $10,000 every month,
Hmm.
right? So they calculate you can't, including all your mortgage payments, property tax, and everything, right? It should not cross a $4,500,
Okay.
right? Some lenders says a 43%, right? And some lenders says a 59, right? Like instead of 4,500, they say the up to 59 and $5,900 you can borrow.
Mm-hmm.
That 5,900 or 4,500 should include your car payments if you have anything. It should include credit cards also borrowing. So
Okay.
inclusive of everything, you
Mm.
can't borrow a 45% or a 59%. So again, depends on your, for example, you think like you have a probability of your income going up,
Mm.
right? So then you can go more than like 35% or 40%, depending
Yeah.
on person, right? That 45% is set from the lender. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
max they can go. But
Yeah.
yourself, you can decide. For example, you find a nicer property for yourself, right? If you want to stretch little bit, go to a different lender, right? Because you can do the math also for yourself. What is the probability of property going to appreciate. For example, you find instead of a 2 bedroom, you find a 3 bedroom for yours.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So we have one caller. We can.
Yes, let's take that call. Hello and welcome, Kalyan.
Hi, Nagaraj. This is Kalyan here on my show, on my way to Virijal's show in 10 minutes. I have a question that I wanted to ask you in our show, Nagaraj, but I'll ask you here because it might benefit larger audience. This came from one of our listeners who said ADUs are the buzzword these days. A lot of folks are trying to pursue if they can do ADUs. If you can please touch upon the topic, what does it take to build ADUs or ADUs in general? Recommend, don't recommend. If you can touch upon that, that'll be great.
A great, Kalyan. Thanks for calling for the show today. I think that's the lot of sellers or home buyers, right? Having a bigger lot, they can build an ADU, right? Having an ADU, good thing is like rental income, right? But you need to decide on what's the max you can go for building an ADU. If you can't build an ADU, there's a lot of fabricated ADUs you can get it, right? And the max can go up to a 200K. And I was looking yesterday, there are tiny homes also available starting from a 50K to 100K, and a Costco's are available.
Oh.
And it can be like basically 600 square footage, right? So when you're deciding on the price, how much you want to spend, you need to see that what is the value it brings in when you sell it. So that's what you need to bring in. Do the math also. For example, you're spending an 100K, what is a rental you can get it? Right? The 50K or 75K, for example, you're spending it, but you're thinking about you staying alone there, right? It brings an extra square footage for yourself. That might work out for you, but you're thinking about a rental property for yourself, the rental, right? So then you can basically think about up to what max it can do. And the time frame, how much it is like to build also. I think Kalyan has dropped. Do you have any other callers right now?
Looks like no calls holding right now, but that is a good suggestion. So with an ADU, you're only talking about renting the ADU, right? Not buying. I mean,
No, it's
you
like
can't do
basically
that.
in your backyard where you can yourself.
Right.
So that is, again, what is the reason you're going to build, right? Maybe you have a family size increasing. Like, for example, you have frequent parents coming in, right? And currently in your house, there is like, you have a 2 bedroom or a 3 bedroom, and you need an additional bedroom. Right? In that cases, you can go with the tiny homes also. As I told you, the tiny homes might be available in Home Depot where you can go and check. You can go check with the Costco also. What I was reading in, like they are do with the, like you need to work with the city with the permits also, right? And that's one of the stuffs. And there's a called a fabricated ADUs are also available.
Okay.
Where they
Ready-made.
Ready-made, where they come and install it in your backyard. So for that one also, you need to be working with the city.
Okay, I see.
Okay? So, but the price is finally comes down. What is your budget you have yourself?
Correct.
And what is the reason you are building in? Don't think about a short-term gap or like, for example, I need it only for 2 years, but think about what is the value it brings in for the property in the future. If you're just throwing out an 100K for buying out a Costco thing, right? Like later you can't reuse it for it, and it doesn't bring in a value addition when you're selling in, don't consider it.
Right.
That's the pros and cons you should be doing when you deciding on bringing an ADU in your house, right? But already there are some of the homes which they sell with an ADU. Correct. So that also when you're buyer, right, you can consider that also. As I told, the reasons might be, for example, family is increasing, or like you want to create one more rental income for yourself. For example, you have a 10,000 square footage, right, in backyard, or a 7,000 square footage, right? So sometimes the houses have a detached garage also, right? In the detached garage, on the top of the detached garage, you can build a ADUs also.
Oh, okay. I see.
So this all can be a revenue factors, or it can solve your family size needs also.
Square footage factor. Yeah.
Because right now you have a frequent family members coming in every 6 months. Another 6 months, for example, nobody is staying in. You can use it for an Airbnb purposes also.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
So
Wow.
these are the stuffs you need to think when you're doing in ADU.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. So that is really great information, and folks, I'm sure you've enjoyed listening to this, and really all of these ideas coming up. If you want to run those by, Nagraj is always happy to talk to you through that. You can call him offline. His number is 408-805-4653, 408-805-4653, or simple, just nagrajhomes.com, NAGARAJ homes.com, and he'll always be there to handhold you through the ups and downs in this challenging real estate market. And of course, we are with you every Sunday, 12:30 to 1 p.m. on Bolly 92.3 FM and simulcasting on YouTube. So make sure you have that lunch date with us every Sunday, and that'll really make you confident in embarking on a real estate journey. So thank you so much, Nagraj. And I wanted to talk to you about the seller point of view, but that we're going to leave for another time, for maybe next week.
Thank you so much, Vijayalakshmi, and all the Bay Area listeners. Do keep calling us and encourage us. And you can, as I told you, like, you can leave your comments on your YouTube also, right?
Yes.
You can go and like and subscribe, because there's a regular videos coming in on the real estate. So that always think about real estate is enriching your knowledge. It can't be an immediate solution also. It can be a long-term solution, right? For example, as I told you, ADU related, you might not be thinking about now, but for the future, it might help you out.
Yes, yes. So for the future and work in the present. And on that happy note, this is Vijay Lakshmi. Thank you so much for joining us. Look forward to having you next week as well.